What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler, and today I'm taking a look at the sneaker releases in the first half of March 2020, and I let you know which shoes I think are going to sit on shelves and which ones I think are going to sell out. If you've never seen one of my sit or sell videos before, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because if you have been subscribed, you've definitely seen one of these videos before. They're a lot of fun, and we talk about sneakers that are coming out, and you guys can sort of fill in your calendar with all the cool releases that are dropping. With All-Star Weekend winding down about a week ago, it looks like Nike has kind of slowed down on the releases for the beginning of March just because they dropped so much heat in February, but that doesn't mean there isn't some good sneakers dropping, and a few of these shoes are actually pretty hyped up. So without further ado, let's jump right into the beginning of March and find out which shoes are going to sit on shelves and which ones are going to sell out. Starting things off on March 2nd, we've got the women's Shehla Rashid Air Jordan 1 Mid. The first thing that you'll think when you look at this shoe is that someone dipped it in purple paint, but that's not actually the case. In fact, the entire front half of the shoe is covered in leather and the entire back half is covered in suede. To be honest, this look reminds me a lot of what Sean Witherspoon did with those Supreme Air Jordan 5s a couple years ago at round 2, where he dipped the toe of them into some red paint. It looked really cool. It was obviously just an art piece, but it looks like Jordan Brand is taking inspiration from that and creating something that you can actually wear. These Jordans are women's exclusive, which means the sizing will be somewhat limited, so if you're a larger footed dude, you probably won't be able to grab these. Colorway wise, it's not bad. It's not my favorite color combination. While I do like those colors separately, together they're not as interesting as I think they could have been. I'm sure there's some significance behind those colors. I'm sure there's a deeper meaning that I just don't know about, but from just a visual point of view, it's not my favorite. At the end of the day, this is a pretty solid collaboration, and I do think it will be somewhat limited. However, I don't know if there's enough hype behind this sneaker to make it sell out. So for that reason, I'm giving this shoe a sit. Then moving on to March 4th, we've got the Air Jordan 34 Infra Red. As you can tell from the name, this shoe is an Infra Red Air Jordan 34, and that's pretty much all there is going on with this sneaker. It's red, it's black, and it's an Air Jordan 34. So, that's about it. The 34 is a solid hoop shoe, and if you're looking for a new pair of basketball sneakers and the team that you play on's colors are red, this is a great way to go. But to be honest, to me and probably a lot of other people out there, it is just kind of another colorway of the Air Jordan 34. So because of that, I think this shoe is gonna sit. Then on March 5th, we've got the New Balance Omnis New Flame Atomic Yellow. This shoe is pretty dope. I really like the Omnis overall as a sneaker. I just think it's a good looking shoe, and in this sort of orange and yellow colorway, it really pops. One of the more interesting details on this sneaker is the black print on the upper of the shoe that kind of give it a tiger print look, and that might have something to do with Kawhi's play style. That's at least something that I read, I think, in Sneaker News. I'm not totally convinced of that being the reason why this print is there. I just think it looks cool, but you know, it is what it is. Back when the Omnis first started releasing and Kawhi Leonard was killing it in the playoffs, beating my Sixers and winning a championship, these shoes were impossible to keep on store shelves. In fact, they all sold out immediately. Now that there are more pairs and more colorways available, sales of this shoe have slowed down a little bit, but at the end of the day, that's natural because you're releasing more products into the market. Although this shoe does look dope, I think everyone who wanted a pair of these sneakers already has one, and just because it's a cool new colorway isn't going to convince them to buy a new pair. So for that reason, I think this shoe is going to sit. After that, we've got the Nike Foamposite Pro White, Black, University Red. I'm over Foamposites. I get it. They look futuristic. They were big like 5 years ago. It's cool. Like, it's fine, but I don't think anyone really wears them anymore. And if they do, it's usually older stuff. It's not any of the new stuff that's been dropping. I just haven't seen anyone wear a pair of Foamposites in a while. And you know what? As soon as I go outside later today, I bet you I'm gonna see like 4 people in Foamposites, but I just haven't noticed them at all. This shoe is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. If you like Foamposites and maybe you're, you know, a weird Foamposite collector, which isn't really a thing anymore, then grab it. Sure, that's great. You shouldn't have too hard of a time because it's probably gonna sit. And then finishing off March 5th, we've got the Air Jordan 2 Rivals. Apparently the colorway of this shoe is inspired by MJ's media appearances, and I do think that's a pretty cool look. It's crazy, it's loud, but if you like that, this shoe might be for you. This Jordan 2 is covered in tons of different fabrics and materials, and when all put together, it's an interesting looking shoe. It's not something that I'm personally looking forward to picking up. In fact, I might actually let this shoe go. However, I have heard that this shoe might be somewhat limited, and because of that, I wouldn't be surprised if this shoe sold. And then on March 6th, we've got the Nike LeBron 7 Fairfax. Nike has been retroing a lot of LeBron 7s recently, and it looks like we're getting a brand new colorway in the form of a PE-inspired Fairfax Lions LeBron 7. The shoe comes in primarily black with bright hits of yellow and red on the midfoot and also the air unit. It even has the word Fairfax written on the heel of the medial side. It's a nice looking shoe, and I think a lot of LeBron fans will be excited to pick this one up. However, I think people who aren't big fans of LeBron probably don't care about this release, and for that reason, I think the shoe is gonna sit. Moving on to March 7th, we've got a pretty highly anticipated release of the Air Jordan 3 UNC. This Jordan 3, while not officially named the UNC Jordan 3, is based on the UNC Jordan 3 PE from a couple years back. That PE was only given out to members of the UNC basketball team and a select few family and friends of Jordan Brand, and because of that, that shoe was incredibly coveted and really difficult to get. And now Jordan Brand is finally giving us a chance to grab a shoe that looks pretty similar to that shoe. The only real difference is the fact that it doesn't have any UNC branding on it. The UNC Jordan 3 comes in a white tumbled leather upper with gray elephant print on the toe and on the heel, and of course it also features some UNC blue accents around the sneaker. Honestly, it's one of the cleanest Jordan 3s to release in a long time, and it also wouldn't surprise me if this shoe was a GR. But even if this shoe isn't limited, I think so many people are so excited for this sneaker, it's just gonna sell out regardless. Then on March 9th, we've got the Air Max 90 Fly Ease. Recently, Nike created a feature on their shoes called Fly Ease, which makes it easier for people with disabilities to actually pull the shoes onto their feet. I think the fact that Nike is trying to make their shoes more accessible to people with disabilities is really cool. And this also isn't the first time a shoe has gotten a Fly Ease variant. They've done this on Jordan 1s and some basketball sneakers as well. The purple and pink colorway that they decided to make this shoe in isn't exactly my thing, but at the end of the day, this shoe isn't for me. Fly Ease is a really cool concept that I hope Nike continues to work on in the future. But at the end of the day, I just don't think this shoe is for most people, so for that reason, I think it's gonna sit. Then on March 13th, we've got the Reebok Question Black Toe. I love the fact that Reebok is bringing back out Allen Iverson's iconic sneaker, and I think this white and black colorway is super clean. The yellow details on the white upper, accented by the black toe and also the black accent on the heel, really make this shoe stand out. If you have been waiting to grab a pair of Reebok Question mids but just haven't pulled the trigger yet, this is a great colorway to grab. However, even though it's an awesome colorway on an awesome shoe, it's just not really hyped up, and as we all know, hype drives sales, and for that reason, I think this shoe is gonna sit. And then rounding off March 13th, we've got the Air Jordan 34 Bayou Boys. This shoe is one of Zion Williamson's first PEs that are actually releasing. Of course, this shoe has a New Orleans theme and also has the words Bayou Boys written on the heel. The shoe comes in a really interesting shade of greenish brown, and it's also got gator detailing on the heel, which really makes it seem more premium. Two of my favorite accents on the shoe are the bright neon green pull tab and also the teeth detail at the bottom of the laces. It's really cool, it's unexpected, and I dig it. Usually when it comes to new colorways of the Air Jordan 34, I tend to think that they're gonna sit, but this shoe is probably going to be limited. It's a Zion Williamson PE, it's his rookie year, and he's killing it right now. So for that reason, I think this shoe might sell. Then on March 14th, we've got the Air Jordan 1 High Zoom Racer. This is the second recent Air Jordan 1 with the full-length Air Zoom unit in the midfoot, and because of that, it should be one of the most comfortable Air Jordan 1s available. Unfortunately, at least in my opinion, I don't think it looks good, and that sucks because I really want a comfortable Jordan 1 that looks awesome. However, for some reason, it seems like there's a lot of people on the internet who disagree with me. The shoe has a really high rating on Sneaker News, it's reselling for decent money on StockX, granted it is an early shoe, and maybe I'm just the only person who doesn't like it. I would have given this shoe a sit, but seeing what people are saying about it, I don't know. The shoe comes in a primarily white upper with gray patent leather detailing and also a clear wing panel. Not sure what the deal is with that, but it's there. Not only that, but the shoe also features a semi-translucent outsole so you can see through to the Zoom Air unit. I gotta be honest, I don't like this shoe, and I think unless it's really limited, it's probably going to sit on shelves. After that, we've got the highly anticipated Nike SB Dunk Low Safari. This shoe is heavily inspired by the Atmos Safari Air Max 1, and I think it's a good looking sneaker overall. It features an awesome little black mini swoosh on the toe and also gray speckled paneling around the upper of the sneaker. The shoe is finished off by a black tongue, light orange paneling around the upper of the shoe, and a yellowish Nike swoosh. And for a lot of people that love the Safari Air Max 1, this shoe is a must cop. And of course, you can't forget how popular SB Dunks are right now. In fact, there's a lot of dunk heads who really love this sneaker as well. It's a solid looking sneaker overall, and if you want to grab a pair for yourself, you're gonna have your work cut out for you because it's definitely going to sell out. And then rounding off March 14th, we've got the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 in the Desert Sage colorway. This shoe is very reminiscent of the March 350 V2s which just dropped a couple weeks ago. The shoe comes in sort of a sage green or light green upper with a light green midsole accent on the side. It's also got what seems to be a gray or possibly 3M stripe on the lateral side. But the most obvious detail on this shoe is the bright orange sock liner that sort of spills over onto the top of the ankle. In my opinion, if you already have a pair of March 350 V2s, you don't really need to grab this, there's no reason to. But if you don't and you want to grab a shoe that has this sort of aesthetic, this is a great way way to go. But we all gotta be real at the end of the day. It's a 350 V2, it's in a brand new colorway, and I think a lot of people are hyped on it. So for that reason, I think this shoe is gonna sell. Then finishing off the first half of the month on March 15th, we've got the Nike LeBron 17 Low Black University Red. To be honest, I just don't think this shoe is that special. It just kind of seems like a black version of the LeBron 17, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a sneaker that I personally want, and I don't think anyone's gonna be rushing out to the store to grab it. So for that reason, I'm giving this shoe a sit. But that pretty much wraps up the releases for the first half of March 2020. Now I would love to know your thoughts on these drops and which shoes you're looking forward to most, so let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.